Hello and welcome to Research One. This screencast is identified as README First. It's being loaded in the Moodle site for Research One in advance of the course because I've been getting some questions. So I'm going to provide a little brief view of what you can expect in the course. So I'm going to answer 4 questions. What does Think Research mean? Is this course online or is it a flexible delivery course? In other words, what's the format of the course? Do I need a measurement background in the course? And should I get a head start on the course? All questions that I have been asked, and so let's try to answer those as quickly as we can to get you started. Let's start right off the idea. What does Think Research mean? And I will refer you to the goals of the class. There are 3 items that I think are important for you to keep in mind. Number 1, don't accept conventional wisdom. Conventional wisdom is the idea that there are certain ways we've always done things, and so it's just assumed these are the way we're doing them, or people present ideas and they say logically this is how a certain thing should happen. Research experience tells us that isn't really always the case. So it doesn't mean that conventional wisdom is wrong. It simply means that conventional wisdom is likely to be wrong as it is right. So you need a better guide. That's where research comes in. Secondly, question experts and sources of information. This is really important because we live in a day and age of availability of information. You have information available to you at your fingertips that no society in the history of any civilization has ever seen before. But none of it's verified. So unless you can verify it yourself, unless you have the tools to verify it, you're really a captive of what someone else wants you to believe. And that expert may not be an expert in your best interests. And then we're going to look at some really practical questions about when you decide we do need to ask some questions. We need to know what to measure and how to measure it. So those are some pretty obvious things. So when we say Think Research, raise lots of questions. If I can say one thing that's important, always question. Question in a nice way. Don't have to be offensive, but make sure you raise questions. A lot of questions about the format of the class, and as many of you know, we've got a lot of people in the class, and so there's a question, is this course going to be online or is it going to be flexible delivery? Well, let me explain what we mean. When we say online in current terminology, we mean a course that's totally independent of class sessions, regardless of how they're organized and how flexible they are. In Newman terminology, we term our courses experiences into 2 wides. Online simply means everything is loaded in the Moodle site and you can be totally independent of us time-wise in terms of how you complete it. Flexible delivery usually means that we're going to have some organized class sessions in some way. So there will be opportunities to meet with us, but in those cases, you're going to have to follow a schedule for flexible delivery course sessions. So, okay, basically what I'm going to tell you is you can have your cake and eat it both here. Okay, there will be scheduled meetings, ITV, Skype, phone conferences, real-time chats, but they're all going to be optional. Now they're going to be announced in advance. You're going to have a schedule of those well in advance, but they will be clearly identified in advance to say, if you have this and this and this at your fingertips, you don't need to come to this class session. So you will get lots of forewarning about why it would be in your best interest to attend a class session if it is going to be in your best interest. And you're going to be the determinant of that, not me. But at the same time, and course resources will provide, and when I said that, I mean it's on a menu basis. You will see lots of options. So look at the extremes. You could, if you wanted to, have complete support for a course that's 100% online, if that's what you want. And you will have every resource available for you. That includes opportunities for you to have question and answer session on online messages to me. That means lots and lots of tools like the one you're watching right now. Basically, screencasts would be a lot of those. There will be some video clips that you'll be able to watch, things that I will create on a video clip so you can see my smiling face as well as hearing my voice. And there will be lots of things available, a lot of tools loaded that you will be able to do a lot of reading at. So if you want to do your own time thing, you don't want to be captive to any time schedule that I or somebody else might impose, you can do that. On the other hand, if you're really comfortable with organized meeting schedules, I'm going to have a complete set available for you. Now, these are going to be provided in lots of redundancy. So you can have lots of options. When you're doing a certain assignment, you can say, do I want to use the things that are posted on the Moodle site, which allows me to be totally independent of Guy Glidden's schedule, or do I want to attend a session? Could be an ITV session, could be a rearranged like online session, it could be an opportunity for a phone conference. In other words, there will be several options in either case. Lots of redundancy. So, answer to the question, you can have your cake and eat it both. We're going to have it both ways. I'm comfortable doing the whole thing, and I want you to be comfortable with doing it. This is where we're going in this day and age, and I'm comfortable going there. Do I need a measurement background? Good question. Answer is no. Everything that you need to succeed in this course will be provided, and there are no expectations of background experience or knowledge. So if you're saying, I don't have a lot of experience doing these things, I've never been involved in measurement projects, there's a good time to start, and this is the time to start, and I'm going to make sure you're going to provide all of the resources you need in order to have success in the class, and you don't have to have a specific course background, particularly with measurement activities, in order to succeed. But here are some things you do need to have to provide. Number one, you need a topic, and you will need to look at prep assignment number 1, because it's very clear in saying you need to outline for me a topic or a problem situation that you could use as a basis for projects in the class. So it could be a question. Several years ago, for example, a guy who was a student in this class said, I'm new in my school district, and we do not have a safety plan for our students. And this guy happened to have had a background in law enforcement, and he said, is that a problem? Should my school district have a background in a safety plan, or we should be measuring something about school safety, perceptions of school safety on the part of our students? My experience said, yeah, I think so. But I said, you need to be talking to some people. Might be a good idea. Okay, end result, based on the experience of this student, he actually designed a school safety plan for his school district. All out of a question. He didn't know the answer to the question when he posed it. Also, every one of you is in schools where every year you have an improvement plan. I don't know of any school I've ever run into that's got perfect achievement in every area, feels very comfortable with the idea we're doing everything exactly correctly, doesn't look at lots of things going on in the school in terms of school achievement, school involvement, school climate, and say, here are a few things we could tinker with and improve. And that's what you need to do. Well, that's what a topic's all about. So that's one thing you need. You need to develop a topic and look at the materials on prep assignment number 1 to work on that. Number 2, you're going to have to be willing to work and get your hands dirty. Doing research activities is not a clean business. You have lots of messy spreadsheets. You got to think about getting numbers organized. You have to get things organized in a systematic plan, and that's not easy to do. So, you're going to have to be willing to work. There will be work involved in the class. You're not going to do this on autopilot. You're going to have to be thinking, and you're going to have to be reflecting on things you want to do. And third, and perhaps this is most important, you're going to have to be willing to ask questions. Just because you've always done things in a certain way, you need to ask questions. Is this the best way to do it? Is this the best way to address that problem? Is this the best way to solve that issue? So be willing to ask lots of questions. That's really important, and you're going to see that very early in the class. Big question, do I need to get a head start in the class? Because I know possibly some of you are going to be reading this when you're trying to finish some of Gina's critical assignments in the class she's teaching in the first 8 weeks? And the answer to this question is no. A head start's not necessary. You're going to have more than enough time during the course time period assigned to this class if you put your mind to it, but a head start's not necessary, and that's not the purpose of this screencast. So I want you to relax, finish your current responsibilities, whether it's Gina's class or some other activity you're working on right now. This is being posted as the result of questions from several students. Several students said, "Where are you and what do I need to know about this class?" Well, I wanted to answer those questions, make you feel comfortable. And finally, if you have specialized questions, and that's certainly legitimate, I'm available to answer your questions at any time. And you can do that by simply, if you're not aware of that, many of you are, simply look for this email address. That will get you at any point in time. So if you have any questions, simply contact Guy Glidden at Glidden Newman, and I will be glad to try to address your questions. So that would be kind of in the process. Now, meanwhile, if you are getting ready for Research 1, a couple of things that, and you can do this like in the first week of the class, I'm not suggesting. The Moodle site's going to be open for this class during the week period before the course starts, so you're going to have an opportunity to see that. I've mentioned a couple of books, and one of them I have had some questions about and interest, and the book is called Freakonomics by Stephen Levitt and Stephen Dubner. Freakonomics, there are two Freakonomics books out there. One's called Freakonomics, one's called Super Freakonomics. The one that you will find most successful with this course is the one that's simply Freakonomics. It's the older of the two texts that are out there. But somebody did send me a question and said, you know, I've already read that book. Can I do the other book? The answer is, of course you can, if you've already read this book and you want to go on and do some other topics. For most of you, though, you're going to be looking for Freakonomics, Stephen Levitt, Stephen Dubner. Book is really cheap. The price is less than $10 for a paperback version. You can also get it for about the same version loaded into a Kindle or electronic reader, so it's available. Moodle site's going to be open. I'm going to be posting lots of stuff, so whenever you are in a time frame to get started on that, you're going to be able to look at stuff like that. In addition, I will be providing very quickly some information about dates for possible meeting times that you can utilize if you're going to be one of those that wants to do that. So you'll have advance information about when those are going to take place if that's your thing and that's what you want to do. Obviously, if you're an onliner, not going to be concerned about that. And then be willing to ask lots of questions about conventional wisdom and before you need to investigate. Let me tell you about a project I'm working on right now. Some of you may know that the Kansas legislature, at least one house of the Kansas legislature, is looking at the issue of eliminating the low-income factor that's a part of the student funding version. So, question, is parent income and student achievement related? Should there be some sort of factor simply because kids are economically poor? Well, I'm working on a paper on that. Right now, I'm going to have something for you to use, and I'm going to have data out there for you to use. So I've actually included the data from some of your schools that in looking at that question. So I'm raising that. That's my conventional wisdom issue right now. I'm investigating right now. And I hope you will be interested in a project like that very soon. So look forward to working with you soon. Simply wanted to give you a preview. Bye-bye for now.